So this is how this week will look when it comes to injuries. We're pretty clean for the most part. The only person that won't be out there today will be Cade. The thing, and that was my decision. All right, I don't think it's a reason to rush him out there. Obviously, he had the back spasms last week, and I will see him practicing more towards the end of this week. All right, so again, it's precautionary. Don't need to force it right now, but again, he'll be with us at the end of the week. When it comes to this week, how you guys will see practice be operating, for the most part, this will be walkthrough. And today we'll be emphasizing the red zone. The competitive part would be in the 7-on-7. And then we'll have a 2-minute situation. That'll be a good 2-minute situation for all our guys to go through. Tomorrow will be the same cadence, but it'll be more the 7-on-7, be more third down emphasis in that aspect. And then on Thursday, it'll be more move the ball. So it'll be more game-like when it comes to Thursday. Other than that, I know you guys know that we signed Tibman, which was outstanding for us to get that done. What that does is stabilize our offensive line, builds continuity, something that I've always talked about when it comes to D-line and O-line. Make sure you can do that. So we feel really good about that, something that we've been working on for a while. And congratulations to him, too, getting that contract, because he's deserved it. Other than that, look forward to ending this week off the right way. Our guys have done a really good job. They've been focused. They've been detailed. We understand exactly how OTAs is as far as the physical part, but the mental part and the movement skills is something that I've been focused on, and making sure that the execution of what we're trying to do, offense, defense, and special teams, was on point. So I think that's been pretty good for us. So other than that, any questions?
What did Tibman show you last year, AG? Like, this time last year, he was competing with Josh
for
the center spot. You had just come in. So what did you learn about him through the course of last year?
Character, first and foremost, of a guy that was competing at the center spot. And that's something that we've done with a number of guys is try to create competition. And once we had the injury to AVT, man, he was more than willing to move over to the guard spot and then just take on that job. And he didn't complain. He didn't say anything about it. The only thing, Coach, what do you need us to do? So, man, he's one of those guys that you want to be around for a long time, just because he is as a person and obviously how good he is as a football player. So he took on that role, did a damn good job for us. And the thing about it, he still has room to grow, to be a better guard. So we're looking forward to that going into next year.
What does it mean to have all 5 of your starters are under contract not only this year but next year?
Yeah, I mean, it's what I said before. I mean, we've just stabilized that part of it. And the continuity, more than anything, is what's important when you especially have those 5 guys that can play together for a long time. So look forward to seeing those guys get to come together more with communication, things like that. So I'm excited about that.
When you talk about stabilizing, how much of an emphasis was that with you and Darren to bring stability to the organization overall and maybe operate differently than previously?
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that that you want to do as a coach and GM is start to talk about how do we stabilize the team in general, and those important parts of the team that you want to make sure that you build those up and make those a strong point of what you're trying to do. It's something that we really focused on this offseason. And actually did a pretty good job of getting that done. I'm just talking from the D-line and the O-line perspective. So it's something I believe in. It's something that I think is a foundation to every winning football teams to make sure both O-line and D-line is stabilized. And something that we got to continue to look at.
What about Parham?
Yep.
Obviously, he doesn't have the experience with the unit when you talk about continuity, but what does he bring to the table, and why did you target him?
Yeah, well, the thing is, he was with Gino before, so you understand Gino and how he operates. But he was also a good player that we just want to bring in the fold. And once you bring a new player inside, man, it's important that he understands how those other 4 guys operate, and he's done that. Obviously, when you come to this part, man, it's the mental part that we really try to focus on, because the physical part, we can't do anything about that when it comes to OTA. So we'll see exactly how that operates when it comes to training camp.
Speaking of Gino, what has he done this spring to make an impression on you?
Everything that I spoke about before, his leadership, his command of the offense. And I would say more than just the leadership on offense, just how he operates in the locker room. I'm excited to have that player And you can see the maturity in him. You can see how he's grown over the years. And he's really rubbing off on a lot of guys here. So I'm excited what he brings to the table.
Why was it important for you to make that trade for Andre Sweat?
Just like I said before, is things that I believe in when it comes to D-line. He's a big man that's agile. He's tough. He's competitive. He has long arms. He demands a double team block. The things that I believe in when it comes to D-line and how we play our D-line. So anytime you can go around and you can get somebody of that magnitude that actually fits exactly what you're doing, you think about how you can't put that player on your team. And it just happened that, we were able to make the swap, with those two guys. So, again, looking forward to seeing him grow, especially with the pad zones. We can see exactly how he can dominate inside.
Is he similar to anyone you've seen over the years or remind you of anyone?
He does. Obviously, the other guy here, Jenkins, big guy that he kind of reminds a lot of people of. But there's a number of big guys that I can just think of off the top of my head. Ferguson. He's another guy that I played with who was definitely dominant, in the middle of your defense. So anytime you can build your defense to where the middle of your defense is just stacked. And when I say that, you got Sweat, you got DeMario, and then you got a safety, Minka. When the middle of your defense is sound, that's a good point to have.
You talked about stability on the O-line and the D-line, but you signed Garrett to an extension last summer. Then this offseason you signed Brees to an extension and now Tippmann. What kind of message does that send about the direction that this franchise is going?
We want to keep our players. We want to keep the guys that's homegrown. And we like good players, too. So listen, I don't know exactly what happened when it comes to that as far as signing players before me, but I just know this is something that me and Mooch talked about in great length to make sure that, listen, we reward the guys that want to be Jets. We reward the guys that act like Jets because that helps you turn your franchise around. And listen, we're doing everything we can to make sure that happens. We have a ways to go. We understand that. But we understand there's a process about going to do things, and we try to make sure that we follow that process.
Where is the group taking the most strides since the beginning of phase 1 until now?
Yeah, that's a hard question to answer because you're not in pads. And you just don't win jobs when it comes to the OTAs. But I would say this. The mental part of what we're doing, I think our guys have done a really good job of that. And when I say that, I'm talking about schematically, of understanding exactly what we're trying to do on offense, understand exactly what we're trying to do on defense. I thought special teams, the guys had a really good understanding of that already. And the thing is, we're steady building on that. So the mental part is where I want to make sure we made a huge jump because we know it was new. And our guys did a good job of that.
Brendan Sorsby at Texas Tech declared yesterday that he's going to apply for the supplemental draft.
Yep.
If the NFL does approve that, would you guys have interest in exploring that?
I'm going to focus on the guys that we have here now. And that's something that I'm sure me and Mooch will talk about. But listen, I got, the quarterbacks here that we're focused on right now.
Just one follow-up on it. Apart from the evaluation of him as a quarterback, the off-the-field stuff, the gambling issues, would that disqualify him in your eyes?
I have no idea what that is, to be honest with you. I heard about it. I see it on TV, but I don't want to respond to that because I have no idea of the inner workings of that. It's not fair to that player for me to do that.
Gotcha.
How about the Knicks, Coach?
The Knicks?
Yeah.
Go Knicks. Go Knicks. I tell you what, that was beautiful. Here's the thing that I thought was so beautiful about the way that it operated. And I don't know it for sure, but I think those guys were down on a number of games that they've played. And you think about how they operated in that first quarter and second quarter. Then that third quarter, man, it was a totally different team. And you hear me, and you probably heard me say this word before, but competitive stamina. And that is something that those men showed throughout that whole series. And that's a real thing. It's a real thing. It's something that I've talked to our guys about since phase 1. to be honest with you. That's something that we're working on. And the way you do that is, me as a coach, I have to make sure I create that in practice. And it's hard to do it in OTAs because the physical part of it. But once we go to training camp, you can bet your ass that we're going to work on competitive stamina, because those Knicks, those guys showed it.